Hi, I'm Corey, and I have too many tapes. Or if you're from Quebec, bonjour, je m'appelle Corey, et j'ai trop de cassettes. As if we didn't have enough weird puppet shows on our side of the border, Rhino had to go and import them. There weren't enough, huh, Rhino? There weren't enough nonsensical puppet nightmares to go around? Did we need to fill every conceivable shelf with tapes of puppets? Puppets of all kinds, Christian puppets, Henson puppets, nightmare puppets, homespun hand puppets, walk-around puppets, and now, finally, Canadian puppets. French-Canadian puppets at that. Gotta leave this world behind. And this show has everything you'd want from Canadian children's programming. Vibrant, well-constructed and performed puppets, Zydeco music, the Louisiana Bayou, a chicken famous for making popcorn who's in love with a fox, and sentient mud monsters. If it sounds like I'm making this up, you're gonna lose it when I tell you what it's called. On this episode of Too Many Tapes, I give you 1990's Chicken Minute. That can't be right. Chicken Minute. Chicken Minute? Maybe it makes more sense in the original French. Cocotte-Minute. That translates to a pressure cooker. Okay. Well, pitter patter, let's get at her. First up, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Logo Talk. Let's talk about that Kid Rhino logo. It's pretty great. We've got ourselves a little greaser rhino kid with his slicked back hair and his leather jacket. Less fawns and more schnoz. 5 stars. Although he should probably put some pants on. 4 stars. We open on the vast stretch of the Louisiana Bayou, a subject with which series creator Henri Declay must have been deeply familiar, seeing as he grew up in Belgium, and then moved to Quebec, allegedly. Am I going to keep shoving in ham-fisted Letterkenny references? That is a Texas-sized 10-4. By the way, you want to watch this whole episode of Chicken Minute? I'm surprised we're not watching this whole episode of Chicken Minute right now. Check it out on my second channel, Too Many Tapes. Link up there in the right-hand corner. Finally got it right this time, yeah. Anyway, the Bayou, our home, our setting, our tableau. It's a neat little scale model they've got going, I'll give them that. Real Emmett Otter vibes. This bayou is the home of Anatole Bonbon, an alligator who's cursed with a combination of the worst name I've ever heard and the worst fashion sense I've ever seen. He sits on his dock fishing for bottles and fresh sushis and sashimis, and he talks like somebody trying to do a SpongeBob impression. He gives us the basic shape of the world.
I love fishing and collecting everything I catch. Here in the South, the living is easy. Folks are friendly and neighborly, yet some say a little crazy.
His introduction gives way to the title card, which has an eyeball over the eye like it's a dang Goosebumps show, and we get a theme song that is doing so much work to try to explain the admittedly nonsensical premise of the show alongside its characters. We've got Mama, a chicken, described as a bayou boogie queen, Minute the fox, who's Mama's main squeeze and a mean guitar player, and Anatole, who's their neighbor. The theme song then takes a detour into the sewer so we can meet Mudbelly, a swamp monster who looks like Cookie Monster got dipped into a vat of acid. His lair is the most intricately designed thing in this show, and I love him already.
I'm bad! I'm mean! I'm the monster of the swamp!
Finally, we have Ulysses, the ostensible narrator of the show. He's a baby chicken, still in his shell, who's writing his memoirs. As premises go, this is about as thin as they get. Not sure what kind of story we're trying to tell here overall. What is the actual message and point of the show? Generally with kids media, and especially puppet-based kids media, there's some kind of rhetorical or pedagogical point they're trying to get across. This just seems to be bayou hijinks? Bijinks? The opening titles end and the show begins in earnest. Ulysses narrates chapter 19 of his memoirs, The Singing Contest. We're introduced to the idea of the Bayou's annual song festival, and we meet, in my mind, the most fascinating puppet this show has to offer. It's some kind of bullfrog with thick blonde curls who looks like someone tried to visualize what Kermit and Miss Piggy's kid would look like. Some kind of beaver with bug eyes sings a dreadful song with some decent enough harmonica playing.
I got them tail slapping blues. Seems I never win.
And he's eliminated from the contest, but encouraged to join the harmonica contest. He seems so sad, poor guy. While I like this whole thing overall, it really seems like a low-rent retread of a lot of Emmett Otter's Jugman Christmas aesthetic-wise, and I'm extremely protective of that one. The difference here is that Jim Henson was, from the deep south, so the aesthetic felt authentic. This feels like pastiche, and moderately tone-deaf pastiche at that. Ulysses, who I'm having a hard time not calling Sheldon because of a childhood full of U.S. Acres segments on Garfield and Friends, bridges us into our next scene with Chicken Mama and Minute, which is a terrible, terrible name for a character, difficult to say. These puppets are great though, high quality construction, well performed, and pretty detailed. They're not on the overly nightmarish end of the puppet spectrum like Salty or the Mr. Potato Head Show, and they're not dull and simplistic like Dudley Dumpling or the Numberland Trail. It's a happy, almost Henson quality medium. Chicken and Minute are an item. There's a story there, enemies to lovers sort of thing. Read all about it in my Chicken Minute fan fiction on AO3. That's not real, by the way. I don't have any Chicken Minute fanfiction. Stop looking. Stop it. Go away. The energy of this thing is exceptionally manic, but in a laid-back sort of way. There's both too much screenplay and not enough story. We're stretching and compressing simultaneously. It's doing weird things to space-time. Mama is a shoo-in for the finals of the singing contest, and her and Minute stew over their competition, including Anatole, Mudbelly, and maybe even Minute himself.
Mama, you gotta relax. Too much tension isn't good for the vocal cords.
Oh.
The way he kind of flicks her waddle. Ugh, puppet lust. I don't even want to think about that. Do not check AO3. Even if I had written anything, it would have been long gone by now. Long gone. A bug-eyed postal bunny tosses the mail directly into Minute's mouth, which is some killer accuracy, and we get some hemming and hawing as we learn the obvious. Chicken Mama has made it to the finals. But across the bayou, somewhere deep beneath the sewers, I'm guessing, we also learn that Mudbelly has made it to the finals as well. But he's not content with just making it to the finals, he needs to win too. So he hatches a dastardly plan, like a bird with a dastardly egg. Do you know I've been holding on to They Might Be Giants tickets for 3 calendar years now? Sounds like something I'd do.
If she participates in this contest, she might win! Oh. If she participates? If! Oh, a plan is coming now.
Anatole shows up while Mama is practicing to cheer her on. He presses her on what she's going to sing for the contest, but she never has anything planned. They have a fun black and white musical number about inspiration.
Well, I could start with a serenade, with a melody as fresh as a lemonade.
Weirdly, this seems to be happening diegetically because Mudbelly lurks outside their window, also in black and white, and comments on her song.
She's good. Real good.
The lyrics to this song are all over the place. Making a song is like a recipe. It'll make your popcorn pop. What? I have this sneaking suspicion that the show was originally written and performed in Quebecois and then retranslated poorly into English. Just a thought.
Singing a song's like a recipe. Can you make your popcorn pop? Every time I do it, it happens to me. I hope the music will never stop.
After the song, Anatole praises Chicken Mama's grand improvisational skills, and Mudbelly steals her voice by popping a paper bag, which startles the voice out of her body. He catches this voice in a little flip-top tin can thing and shuts it tight. Maybe naming the narrator character Ulysses was apt. This thing feels like a nonsensical stream of consciousness. Fade to our first commercial break as Chicken Mama and the gang freak out about her lost voice, and we return to Mudbelly's swamp where he's gloating over the tin can.
I stopped her in mid-cluck. Well, that solves problem number 1. Now, problem number 2. What am I gonna wear to this thing?
That's cute. Mudbelly's cute. I'm on his side. Let the weird slime demon win a contest. It's his time. Anatole and Minute search for Mama's voice while they give her some surprisingly good sore throat remedies. They try lemon and honey, salt and hot water, and Anatole floats the possibility of a magic voice elixir. Again, this thing feels like it was improvised entirely on set. The dialogue feels so offhanded and casual. There aren't really any jokes. It's just a hangout show with annoying characters. Back to Mudbelly, and he's rocking some warm-up scales and a sparkly sequin jumpsuit. He's a king. We all love Mudbelly.
I sound great, and I look even better. If my singing doesn't get the ladies, the threads sure will.
Anatole goes back to his house to sing a song about his bottle collection / hoard.
Now did I ever ever tell you about my bottle collection? It's really unique. You'll see it's quite a sensation. It will boggle your mind. You'll be so surprised when you see all the kinds of bottles I got inside. I said,
Anatole has a problem, and Chicken-Minute has a problem too. Sure, we have some fun Zydeco-adjacent music going on here, but there's not really songwriting going on. It's that old multilingual writing issue again. The rhymes are lazy, and the song has too much air in it. Every second of this song feels like we're spinning our wheels, wasting time. It's hardly even worth questioning if Anatole got all of these bottles by fishing them out of the river, or if he got a bit of a jump start by being an average 20-something guy in an apartment by himself making a sad parade out of his empty liquor containers. There are a couple of neat visual ideas here, with Anatole dancing inside of the bottle and his goofy little bottle hat that looks like the nipple of a baby bottle, but it doesn't amount to much. It's a shame too. In general, the show is really pleasant and affable, but it can't put together anything resembling forward momentum. It's like listening to a car rev in neutral for 30 minutes. What makes this song even worse is that it doesn't move the story forward. He doesn't find anything of value in the bottle collection, so we cut back to Mudbelly while he mopes before the competition.
Is what I've done fair? No. Does it show any respect? It's low down, mean-spirited, and just plain nasty. And you know what? I feel wonderful!
Never change, King. Never change. Anatole visits Mudbelly's hideout for some unexplained reason, and notices that he too has a bottle collection. This leads to him discovering the can with Chicken Mama's voice. He races back to Mama and Minute as the Bullfrog Lady introduces Mudbelly at the singing contest. She refers to Chicken Mama as the Bayou Popcorn Queen, which is, as honorifics go, probably the best one. Mama's not here, so they crown Mudbelly by default, which means we don't even get to hear him sing. Rip off, give him the floor to do his showy, silly routine. Anatole returns Mama's voice to her, and the contest is back on. She sings a little blues ditty about herself.
Every time you hear the blues, you know Chicken Mama singing for you.
It's not good, and it honestly doesn't showcase her voice very well. Kind of weird and atonal. Mudbelly may still have a shot at this. Speaking of Mudbelly, he's backstage, psyching himself up. You got this, bud.
Who's a good monster? Who's gonna win the contest? You, that's right. La 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 la.
Anatole confronts Mudbelly and puts a frog in his cup. Mudbelly drinks from this cup, and it puts, quite literally, a frog in his throat. He's unable to sing. Isn't this basically the same kind of cheating Mudbelly did to Chicken Mama? It's vengeance, sure, but doesn't it lower the competition to his level? Regardless, they robbed us of a fun singing number in favor of Chicken Mama's bland warbling. Figure it out. Mama obviously wins the contest, and the prize is the tiniest trophy I have ever seen. Anatole helps Mudbelly get his voice back, and then Chicken Mama, the Bayou Popcorn Queen and reigning singing contest champion, invites everybody, including Mudbelly, back to her place for some popcorn. Ulysses, who had absolutely no involvement in the plot of this episode, gives us a Stand By Me-esque outro that reveals everybody's fates.
Anatole became a big hero around here, and Mama, Mama stayed the queen of the Bayou Blues singing contest for a whole nother year.
And we're done. That's it? That was 26 minutes? 26 chicken minutes, mind you. What precisely happened here? I feel like I temporarily blacked out and woke up with no memory of the last half hour of my life. People got paid to make this. People cared about this. Someone cared enough to make sketches and build puppets and sets and write scripts. Someone got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get coffee for technical rehearsals. There were probably arguments over performances, and for what? What was the effect of this show other than briefly, fleetingly holding the interest of Canadian children? To add insult to injury, most of Chicken-Minute is lost media at this point. One of the staff members on the show uploaded a few of the French dubs to YouTube, but of over 25 total episodes made, it seems like the only ones available in English are the rare few that made it to American VHS via Rhino Kids. In a world where whole shows are disappearing left and right from streaming services looking to save a couple of bucks on residual checks, it's important to remember that media can get lost sometimes. Shows you valued in your childhood probably disappeared due to neglect, rights issues, or some combination of the two. So back up your shows and keep circulating those tapes. You never know when you could become an accidental archivist. Also, on an unrelated note, can I have $1 million? I need to make something with puppets. This seems like the logical end to the Too Many Tapes project, me making my own puppet monstrosity that I rope as many people into as humanly possible. I promise it's not a money laundering scheme. Maybe a big budget adaptation of Dream Bunny. That's the ticket. The chicken ticket. Billet du poulet? Thank you all for watching Too Many Tapes. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon to get updates for when I upload videos. Are you Canadian? Did you grow up with Chicken-Minute? Am I missing something in the translation here? Let me know in the comments. If you want to help out a small YouTube channel though, consider donating $1 or more a month to my Patreon. You get an inside look at my deeply anxious creative process, and you can be the first to see new videos as I finish them, sometimes pretty early if I'm trying to be all sneaky-like and take a vacation. If you donate $50 or more a month like Cammy, you're the Bayou Popcorn Queen, and you get a movie recommendation. This month, for real Southern fried goodness, I'm recommending Jeff Nichols' Mud, which is just about the sweatiest movie I've ever seen, like, physically, and probably the only time Arkansas has ever been captured accurately on film. It's extremely tense but oddly tender, which is kind of the Jeff Nichols special. If you donate $20 or more a month, you're NATO kitsch, and your bottle collection boggles the mind, sending those who see it into a veritable Zydeco fever, where they start hallucinating your name huge in the credits. For $10 or more a month, you're 10 ply, and I'm throwing you all a super soft birthday party with your names in the credits all huge. And for $5 a month, you keep this whole operation afloat like some kind of fan boat on a Louisiana Bayou that's also somehow in Canada, and that's what I appreciate about you. Also, you get early access to my videos like you've stumbled across them on the dark web. Dark web. I think that's all the Letterkenny references I can muster. Ferda? Nah, I've run the spit into the ground. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you next time on Too Many Tapes. You were watching Chicken-Minute the other day.